Okay, so I've been working on this kind of mountain board idea in the past couple of videos, and what I've started doing is working on kind of conceptualizing what I might want to be doing for the cam and the hanger and starting the design process for that. And I realized that what I should be doing is I should make sure I can get the standard P2 other planet truck made and 3D printed and make sure I can get that working before I go to the point of designing a whole new truck. So today what I'm actually doing is I'm going to be modeling out just a standard P2 hanger and hopefully be making that available so that other people can mess with it as well. So I'm just going to get right into it. So first thing I do before I start any of my drafting is I'm going to put in my parameters that I know I'm going to be using. So first off, let's do axle bore. So this is going to be the bore size of the axle. So I'm going to do 12 millimeters right there. We're going to do the axle offset next, and that's going to be, now these just have to be kind of close to start off with. I'm just kind of taking measurements off the truck. 15 millimeters axle offset. Okay, so next is going to be hanger width, which is going to be, I'll start with 150. And hanger thickness is going to be the next one. And that one I'm going to start with it at, we're going to do 24.2 for the hanger thickness. And then the last one we're going to have is the slot size. And let's call that 17 millimeters. So this is all the measurements I've started off with. All right, so now I've got all my parameters. I can start my sketch. I'm going to be sketching on the side plane. I'm going to be making everything kind of based around the axle location. So this is going to be the axle bore size for there. Ooh, I'm zoomed in. Okay. Next, we're going to go down away from the axle, the amount of the axle offset there. And we're going to make that a construction line. Next, we're going to go over a certain amount, and this is going to be the shelf that the cam sits on. Looks like the cams are 12 millimeters themselves, and the hanger, it's got an extra little bit, so I'll make it 13 millimeters for that. So the hanger comes down from the shelf. So the cam, real quick, it's going to be 12 meters wide, and it's going to be 19 millimeters tall. So the cam is going to sit right there. So the hanger is then going to come over, and then it's going to go up. And I'm not paying attention to the lengths at this point. I'm just making sure that they are there. So this length here is going to be the hanger thickness minus the 13 millimeters of that shelf. So this shelf has to remain the same size because the cam is not going to be changing, and we can leave that line up there for now. So around the axle we're going to have a circle of plastic, and let's make that circle 23 millimeters. How about that? That's close to what these trucks have got. Any more? So we need the hanger to come up some and then over some. So let's just do that. Let's make this line horizontal. Yeah, let's just have it like that. And I'm not sure what I want to do on this side here. We'll leave it going past. There you go. We'll at least have it square, and it'll be cutting off that amount. Okay. So this is the basics of our hanger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude everything. So I'm going to extrude everything to the width of the base plate with a little bit to spare. So let's do 11 divided by 2, 111 divided by 2. And we're going to make this symmetric. Right? Then we're going to extrude that. And we're going to do hanger width divided by 2. Oops. Yeah, that's right. And we're going to make that symmetric, and we're going to join. All right, so here's our very rough hanger. So we just got to do a little bit of neatening up, and we also got to get that slot in there. So how shall we do that? Let's draw, okay, I don't want to create a sketch on this surface because this surface can change, and I don't want to be referencing this surface that can change. So I'm going to reference the origin, and it's not going to matter because everything I'm doing on this sketch is going to be cut completely through the whole object. So first off, let's do a line for our slot. And we're going to make this slot length. Boop. And it's going to be there. Right? And it's going to be somewhere. It's going to be somewhere. Okay? And we're going to need a couple circles. So the shoulder bolt size is actually 1/4 inch. So we're going to do 6.3 millimeters there. Oh, no. 6.3 there. Circle. Define this as that. All right, so the same. The axle length is a construction line, and we're going to join these two like that. Now, you could do an arc. I've wondered whether it's worth doing arcs instead of circles for the ends of these slots, but for now, let's just ignore that. Okay, so past this line, we're going to want some given clearance. So let's go ahead and make that clearance, say 8 millimeters, right? So that's going to be the bottom of our hanger. Let's do a line, and we're going to make this 15. What happened? Okay, my computer decided to be all silly. Let's make that invisible for a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to center that there. This is going to be a construction line. All right. So this is going to be somewhere. And how do we want to do it? We're going to want to come up to this point there. Ooh, we're going to want to come up to this point here. So let's project that spot there and go back to our line, and let's go ahead and do a spline. I think a spline will work. Okay, and we'll do a horizontal. Right, okay, and we'll do something small. I'm going to assume something like that's going to work. Okay. That's going to be good for now. And I'm going to mirror this along that line. Okay. Yeah, like that. Okay. Then we're going to extrude this, and that. And we're going to go yoink, symmetric. All right. That's looking pretty good, except for the fact that our slot is still kind of just hanging out in space. So I've got to measure where that's supposed to be relative to the center of the axle. So this distance here is going to be, we're going to define, come back here. We're going to define that as 5.25. All right. I think that looks probably pretty good. Finish sketch. And that looks about right. So the normal other planet hanger has got like some steps and stuff going on up here, and that's not necessary at all. So we're just going to not do that. We're going to do a fillet. We want to make sure that these edges get rounded. Oh, what was that? So this edge here comes down and is going to rub against the top edge of the base plate. And we don't want these two sharp things running against each other. We want it rounded. If it's too sharp, it can catch on shims if you've got them installed. And same thing for this edge down here where it's flat. So that looks good to me. I think that's probably going to be a good shape for the hanger. So I guess the next step is to print this out and stick an axle in it and make sure it's actually working in the hanger like I'm wanting it to, and that there's no interference and stuff. But for now, I think that's the end of this video. I will be making these files available. I'm also going to include not just the model of this stock configuration, but I'm also going to include this Fusion 360 file so you can come in and if you need to modify some parameters. So right now I've got the 12mm axle bore, and that's great. That's what stock other planets have, because they actually have 12mm axles that are then milled down to fit your bearings for the bearing surfaces, either 8 or 10mm. And 12mm also works for the mountain board. That's how big the mountain board axles are going to be. But if you're just going to be throwing in a bolt through there, you can get long grade 8 bolts, or if you're just use threaded rod for your axles, then you're going to want to change the bore size down to your axle size that you're actually be sticking in there. And then I've already mentioned the hanger thickness can be dependent based on the condition of your base plates, or if you're using shims or not. And of course the hanger width is something that people are going to want to play around with as well. 180mm hangers is not for everyone. Or also the fact that depending on how you do the axles, you might need nuts. You might need space for nuts at the end, so you might shorten your hanger. And then the slot size is going to change how much lean the hanger is going to do. So I'm probably going to be playing with more lean. So when I actually print these for mountain boarding, to test these out with the mountain board axles, I'm going to be throwing on some extra axle length. So let's try that right now. Let's see slot length. Let's do 25. Let's see how that changes things. There he goes. Nice big long noodly doodly slot. So yeah, easy as that. So for now, we got this model up. That wasn't very long. Pretty slick. Longboard technology. Oh, there we go. Longboard technology. Over and out.